Hi, I'm Andrea Klim. Thanks for tuning in to Turn to the Stars. And today I have a special guest again, Nicole, on with me. And we're going to be talking about the Neptune square North Node in Gemini and the South Node in Sagittarius. Welcome, Nicole.
Thanks, Andrea. Hi.
Hi. I'm so glad to have Nicole back on because she is an awesome spirit therapist and a budding young astrologer. So, we are going to be talking in depth about the Neptune square North Node in Gemini and Neptune squaring the South Node in Sagittarius and what this is bringing up for all of us in the world, including the United States. And so we're going to be talking about I guess I would say like a domino of energy that's going on right now. And the topic of the show is a time of magic and dreams come true. And so I'm going to go and, before, just look at the chart for a second so that you can see what we're talking about and what this energy influence is bringing up for the world and what this means to all of us, because we can talk about, Neptune squaring the North Node, Neptune squaring the South Node, but what the heck does it mean, right? And so before we start, though, I think that this energy has us all frozen in time. We all have so many ghosts, but we also have so many beautiful, wonderful things that we've done in the past that are coming up. So it's not all about pain and suffering. It's also about dreams coming true. And I love the movie Frozen. And my older sister, who's a year and a day older than me, told me whenever you're feeling sad, blue, just put Frozen on and let it go. Just let it go. So I was in the store yesterday and I got this. If you don't know the story of Frozen, just look it up on YouTube, put it on. The music is awesome. It's great for letting go of anything that's dark or heavy, but this is just the coolest thing. And you know what? Laughter is so important right now.
Yeah.
And the mystical and the magical, right?
Yeah. That's also Kuan Yin's message in the goddess cards is let it go. And she's standing on a lake and, just letting it go, letting it flow.
Cool.
I love that. I mean, the light therapy also is I think we may get into that more because that's really helpful to wake up our synapses in a positive way.
Yes, I think so. The letting the light in and getting out in the light, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So what I was getting intuitively before we look at the chart on this is that it's a time to wish. It's a time to see your dreams, draw them, focus on them, meditate, whether that be a walking meditation, a running meditation, a jogging meditation, a lifting weight meditation, a singing meditation. My favorite is dance. And laying down or sitting. Journey on it. Put it on your phone as your screensaver, whatever those dreams are. Totally see that in your mind's eye, feel it in your body, hang a picture on the wall, put it on your phone as your screensaver, talk about it, listen to your intuition. Most of all, follow your heart, because none of us at this time, it's so important that the warmth thaw out the frozen, because we become frozen in time with experiences that we pack down real deep because it's about survival, right? And I'm guilty of it myself. We're all human. We all walk this earth. And do you want to add anything on that?
Sure. It's like we don't know it's there. We get used to it. And then all of a sudden we hit this sort of rock bottom and we go, oh, what is that? So you're absolutely right. It's like we're walking through survival. And we learn humans are so adaptive in being able to survive anything. So we do what we need to do, but to unpack that ego and really see where you've been trying to survive or flourish. Like, can you flourish instead of just survive? And that's where we get to that little box. And so I think Neptune is the great ocean, right? So it's really bringing up these treasures and buried whatevers from the depths of the ocean so that we can really clean our ecosystem in a sense.
You know what I said the other day? I said, because I always said I'm from Neptune, and I have a Neptune shirt I got at UAC in Chicago, Universal Astrology Conference. I have a purple Neptune symbol, and it's a purple t-shirt with a Neptune symbol. And I said, you know what? There's times I feel like I want to dive deep in the ocean and swim with the mermaids because it's a lot more peaceful. And it was kind of funny, but
the magic, right? That's where we can find the magic. So please continue.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and because that's for me. Water is like swimming is my most favorite thing. And growing up, we would swim in my backyard, back and forth across the pool, and I could go underwater back and forth quite a few times without coming up. And everybody would go, "How do you do that? How do you do that?" But I don't know. I have no idea. But I'm part mermaid, I guess.
Right.
And there's so let's get back into look at the chart here, and let's talk about how we can become unfrozen. So let me share my screen, and we're going to go ahead and look at the chart right now of the solar eclipse that's occurring on December 14th, 2020. I'm in Summerfield, Florida, and you're in New York right now, right, Nicole?
Yep.
What part of New York?
Battery Park City at the bottom of Manhattan.
Cool. Very, very cool. And we were just talking about prior to the show, the energy out in the world. And that we need to show love to people, especially the ones with their head down and don't, walking around in fear. And this chart, when you have Neptune is mysterious. So what we're talking about today, and I want to talk about the good stuff shown up here, because see these blue lines, everyone? This means this is the magic. This is the beautiful, beautiful energy here. Mars in Aries trining this solar eclipse. Solar eclipse means that there's a new identity coming for us all. There's going to be a lot of talk about the things that we are projecting. Sagittarius is looking ahead. It's the pioneer. It's politics. It's flying. It's spirituality. It's beliefs. It's understanding, but it's also injustice. It can also be about what's right, what's fair, what's just. And we have a south node, meaning that there's things from the past. I know I've been flooded with memories from my past, and I can't control it. It's like this river that's moving really fast, and it's fiery. It's so exciting. However, it's flooded memories. I wish I could get somebody to, I could just tell them, write this, But Mars is about movement, activity. Are you getting any information on that Mars trying that eclipse?
Well, I'm getting super head chills. I mean, it's really, it feels so good. And it feels like when Mars is on board, we're all happy because we know what to do. We know how to take action. We feel fiery and passionate about it. And there's like there may be doubts, but it's never going to stop Mars from doing it anyway. He kind of enjoys the fact that like there's a little mystery in it. Like, yeah, we'll figure it out when we get there, you know? So I think this feeling is just like a wonderful, like new face, like you said, for all of us. And Mars is down to like, you know, march that march.
There you go. I love it. Oh, that was funny. They're going to do it anyway. So everybody, this is the time to take action on what you believe in and do it with an open heart. You know, do it from your heart. Follow your heart. If you have something that you have wanted to do your whole life and you're doing a job that you hate, get out of it, you know, but make a plan. You know, be smart about it because, you know, I just moved and I had have a Comcast repairman come to fix the Wi-Fi here because I just couldn't get it straightened out yesterday with customer service. And the nicest repairman came in and he was, I mean, of course, well, you know, he wanted to know what I would do. I've got incense burning, you know, he wanted to know what I did. And I mean, he was awesome. He got me set up on all my TVs, my internet. And why am I saying this now? I forget.
A
Oh,
new face, a new, yeah.
he said, I said, you do a really good job at this. I said, but is this your dream work? He said, no. And he goes, I said, what's your birthday? And he said, Capricorn. And I said, well, I said, what is your dream? He goes, I am a pilot and I want to teach flying. And I went, you're going to do it. I said, you're going to do it. You've got Sag energy. I can tell you that right now. I could feel his energy. And he said, but I got 2 small children. I said, just give yourself till April because I know you know, I knew that. I know astrology. And I just said, I just knew it's coming. You know, I said, so this is what inspired, you know, there's been so much inspiration. If you can see, if you have a dream, now's the time to move on it, everybody. You know, it was so funny when you were saying before, it's like everybody, you know that song, everybody, what I said before, everybody just gets stoned. I mean,
Everybody, let's get stoned. Yes. That's a perfect vibe for now. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what? That's about when you get in that state, you don't need any drugs to get in that state. That state is a state of consciousness, of being in heaven, being in heaven on earth. And so, you know, now's the time. Get beyond your fears. It's find the resources. Nicole and I can help you with that if you need help in realizing, understanding, healing the past. But definitely, it's time to put that baggage down, recognize it, love it, honor it, and just put it in a safe place. But it's time to look ahead and go after your dreams. That's what this chart says to me.
Yeah, so you can be the complete package. You can walk forward with yourself with everything intact. The good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. Everything is a part of you. And then it becomes, I've seen in spirit therapy and with my own personal work, that the past then becomes part of your story package, but you don't really identify it with it anymore. It's like, okay, yeah, that happened. And yeah, that's a part of me. And I learned this is what I'm doing with it. So that forward thinking, and then you have the complete package behind you. It's not frayed pieces flapping in the wind. I feel like that's what we're going to need to do in this time. So if you are doing things that are not making you happy, that's pieces flapping in the wind. It's not in alignment with your true mind, body, spirit, heart. So, and you feel it. You can't help but feel it. So, and then you can also feel where you really want to be. I mean, my cousin has been a lawyer for a long time, and she was like, I feel like I'm going to change what I'm going to do. And I said, well, now's the time to do it and align with what do you want to do? I said, what do you want to do? And she said, I want to be a physical therapist. I was like, oh, that's amazing. And with Uranus in Taurus for years till 2025, 26, that's all about innovations with the bones and the body and how we move ourselves. And so what a great time to do that. I'm getting chills just talking about it. So it's absolutely, forget the package that doesn't work for you. There's always something better that your spirit knows can align with and move forward. And then the universe orchestrates for you. It's incredible.
It really, really is. I want to, on that note, I want to share a dream I had a long, long time ago before I began to study shamanic practices. And because it was really special, and it was, hang on a second, I got it right here. Can you see that?
Yeah, I love this. I love this story. Tell it.
Well, I had a dream, two dreams actually. The first dream was, and it was really interesting because this year that I had this dream, the snakes that were in my yard kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger outside. There would be anywhere, and I lived in East Derry, New Hampshire then, and I was terrified of snakes my whole life, but snakes represent power. I was scared of my own power. And I have a signature of a shaman in my chart. And my great grandmother, her name was Papin. She was of the Abenaki tribe. And my grandmother told me when I was little, she said, you remind me of her. I never met her because she was my great great grandmother. But my grandmother knew her. And she was a healer in the tribe. And a healer in a tribe will never tell you I'm a shaman because it's a very humble path. And so the snakes in my yard, and animals, nature is so wise, so wise. If you're listening and you're in tune when you're outside, there's every single animal you see holds a message for you. And that energy is so intense right now. The magic of nature is so talking to us. Earth is talking to us. And so the snakes in my yard were small, getting bigger and bigger. I'd run in the house and there's a snake, and I'd put boots on and go outside with boots up to my knees because I was scared of snakes my whole life until I took year-long intense training with shamanism, and my first power animal was a snake. I said, as long as you don't do that thing with your tongue, you can sit beside me. So anyway, the snakes kept getting bigger, bigger, and then I had this dream. And the dream was I was walking down this river, along a river, with this First Nations lady. She was small and she had white hair. She was just beautiful. I mean, her energy was so nurturing, mothering. I know her now as one of my spirit teachers. Her name is Mana, which is Greek for mother. And we were walking along this riverbed, and she pointed down and she said, and there was this big pile of beautiful white and light gray feathers. And I'm like, what? Those are beautiful. She goes, those are yours. And I went, what? I had no idea what it meant. I woke up. And then I had another dream. And what you see on the screen is what I saw in my dream. I was flying, and there was this huge bird below me. And I flew down to be above the bird. And this is what I saw on its wings. And I drew it immediately because it was so incredible. This was a dream. And I've always had premonitions of things that would happen and before they would happen. And before Neptune, anyway, that's a long story, but before Neptune woke up in my chart by progression, my whole life changed. But so this is what I drew. And this actually is a thunderbird. I found out later it was a thunderbird. And here's the story. If you go on my website and you click on Ghost Clearing, and you go under shamanism or the Thunderbird in the beginning of my shamanic journey, you can read all about it. And I also do teach shamanic journeying and shamanic healing. But this actually happened December 27th to the 28th. Of course, it was at night, 2009. That was 19 years ago. So we're in a 19-year eclipse cycle right now. So things have come full circle in my life. So all that I dreamed about then is now manifesting. And it's amazing. I've worked hard. However, when you're doing what you love, that's not work. So this is my story. And I flew with this Thunderbird. It was the most amazing experience. And I went to a lady at the time. Her name was Anne Marie. She was on my TV show. I hope I got her name right. I'm reconnecting with all kinds of people from my past right now, and that I've been so lucky to study under. And she's a numerologist, and she actually studied under Isabel Hickey, who was my first astrology book, A Cosmic Science. And Isabel Hickey is actually one of my spirit guides. Anyway, where was I here? So she told me, she was a mentor at the time, and she told me, she said, I told her about my dream. She said, you need to study shamanic practices, shamanism. So I called Eileen Nauman, who is a medical astrologer in Sedona, and an astrologer, a medical astrologer, and a Cherokee shaman. She said, Andrea, she said, who do you know? And I'm thinking, and my friend Julianne, who I ended up taking intensive year-long education in shamanic practices with Julianne, and I just absolutely love her. She's a sweetheart. She's from Profound Healing. You've seen her on my show several times. Yeah, so anyway, I began studying shamanism, and there's my very first, it was a year-long education, and I found out on my graduation ceremony that when you fly with a Thunderbird, you're something called a Hyoka, and you can see that right here. I'm a Hyoka. A Hyoka is someone that people who have a lot of darkness are drawn toward because they have a way of reaching their heart. And we had a bonfire ceremony. There was out of 15 people in the class, only 2. It's intense, very, very intense. And it was just me and Barry, I'm going blank on her name. Oh, Jesus, is terrible. I can't remember. She's a sweet, sweet lady, but her and I graduated together, and the whole community came together, like 30 people, and we had a huge bonfire at grandmother Judy's house, and we had a firekeeper, Daniel, and so everybody came with their drums, and we celebrated basically our graduation from shamanic studies. And when you graduate, basically you have to do your dance around the fire. And why am I going blank on her name? I don't know, but she worked with children, special needs children. She did her dance first, and when it came my turn, I went the wrong way. I don't know why. And Daniel, the firekeeper, said to grandmother Judy, she's going the wrong way. And Judy said, that's her way. She's a Hyoka. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, so our point is that follow your dreams. If there's something in your heart that you want to do it. Put a plan in place and follow your heart. And do you want to add anything on that?
Yeah, I think for people working with the dreams, more. Like that was such a powerful dream for you. And it showed you so much of the spirit animals and the spirit world for you. And then other people have, like my boyfriend Phil has dreams about how to build the table that's exactly the way that he's like, oh, I had the dream, and boom, there it is. So it can be esoteric and soul discovery, or it can be, you know, how to get something done in your regular life, let alone things that are showing you where your purpose is and what you want to do. So I think for people to listen to their dreams more. And I took dreaming classes in college at Goucher College with these very innovative
Cool.
professors. And really, if you want to learn more about your dreams and be able to remember them, it really is as simple as putting a pen and paper. We didn't have phones at the time, but I feel like the pen and paper next to your bed is specifically telling your dreams, okay, I'm listening and I am going to write down whatever I can remember. When, especially if you wake up from it, just jot down a couple words or key phrases, and then you'll come back to it. And within a couple weeks, you can really, it's like all of a sudden the stories you remember more and more and more. So it gives you this whole world to be able to discover things about in the dream world that you can put into practice in the waking world. Right, in and out, right?
I, I wanted to say that I think we ought to pick an animal card on dreams as a message for everyone. I have searched for 3 years for these cards because it had to be a special deck. I actually have Ted Andrews, but these are from Stephen Forrest, and there's a falcon.
Farmer.
The falcon, that's a falcon.
Uh,
No, it's a hawk.
no, Stephen Farmer. What's his name?
Stephen Farmer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Wow.
Stephen Farmer. These are messages from your animal spirit guides, oracle cards. I believe that is a falcon. And those were falcon feathers, by the way, that were on the ground in my dream. And my boyfriend just said, you know what? I looked up, Cher, the song by Cher, Half Breed?
Uh-huh.
She has a picture on YouTube with that song, and she has a full falcon headdress. And I said, I want it. I want one. So maybe that's what I'm going to get.
Yeah, nice.
So let's pick a card from this deck on dreams as a message from nature. Do you have a particular, I think that, a message for the world about dreams from the animals, from the animal kingdom. Oh boy, whoa, tiger, that's my spirit animal.
Nice.
In the
What does
Chinese,
it say?
it says, you're being called upon to provide leadership, so trust that you're capable of doing so. Oh my God, what do you see with that picture?
I'm seeing Joan, what's her name? She's
Joan of
the
Arc?
no, she's the shaman woman. I'll think of her. Gwen knows her. But anyway, she said to make peace sexy. Enough with being like these doves that are just, it's so sweet and laying down. You need to really roar in your light working and in your spirit energy. So I see with the tiger, it's stealth. The tiger is not going to expend energy for no reason. It calculates and understands and also sees frequencies, like who needs to go. Don't waste your time on things that are not going to bring you the fruits of your labor. but also very sociable, and there's a hierarchy to it. There's an understanding, there's a respect, there's a community, there's a, you know, we have rules, but there's flexibility in those rules. So I think for the tiger, it's like for dreams, that's really about, you know, roaring. The cat will come and show you the other side. I mean, the cat's the only one that has the snake eyes. So they always, that's why cats sleep so much. They spend half their time in the dream world doing all kinds of God knows what things.
Look,
So
look where I just want to point out real quick. Look how he's walking, looking straight at us. I think that's a female, actually, tigress, because she's walking and she's looking straight at us, and she's walking through abundance, toward abundance. See, the green is abundance, and the blue is the dream.
Like the doorway. Yeah, sure. Like we're right here. We're looking at you. Are you going to be looking at us?
Yes.
Love
And
it.
yeah, so she's pretty cool. Everybody look up your Chinese zodiac sign for the year you're born. It actually follows Jupiter's path.
Oh.
Zodiac. If you look at, so I was born with Jupiter in Pisces in 1962. So it's the path of Jupiter goes on a 12-year cycle. So if you, it matches up. I just intuitively learned that. So I think this is really important, everyone. Be the tiger and going after your dreams.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. I mean, now's the time. You know, we've talked about things like this. I mean, in my world for 20 years, right? Follow your bliss, follow your dreams. Joseph Campbell, doors will open where there were only walls. So yeah, okay, we've been walking it and walking it and walking it. And now it's really, I mean, this December and beyond is really the time. Like enough pussyfooting around what you think you might or not really, or I'm okay. No, it's really time to blossom, because from there it just becomes this jumping off point. I mean, it has to be.
Yes,
So,
it has to be. And you know, Sagittarius is the hunt. It's time for us to hunt for what we see ahead. Go look for it, right? Go look for it. It's in your heart. Listen to your dreams, listen to nature, every animal that passes on in front of you. I had a bald eagle 2 times flying over me, and I'm standing there in awe going, thank you. Thank you. I worked 58 years for this. Thank you.
wow. That's great.
So, yeah. So,
Well, I think that's important to say also. I mean, people walk by all kinds of animals, even in the city, you know, pigeons, squirrels, and they really are. It's kind of like dreams, really. If you pay attention to them and stop and say hi, eventually, or right there, they start to recognize that you see them too. And then they see you as one that sees them. And so then, and I've noticed with the birds, it's like when you talk to one, you're talking to all of them. Like one crow knows the same story and has the same conversation with you as the others. And there's a hawk in our yard now. I realize it's a juvenile, and my mother called her a she. So I've been calling her a she. She's a Cooper hawk. So we named her Coop or Koopa.
nice.
And, you know, she's got a completely different energy from the crows. And the crows aren't crazy about her, but she's young. She's like, what's the problem? I'm living here. And, you know, it's not that big of a fight. They do get along, but it's just the way they interact with each other. But all the animals have their own frequency. And if you talk to one squirrel, all the squirrels may start to notice you. You talk to one finch, all the finches will come near you. So we're the ones that think that we are the ego only one, egotistical sort of, I'm the big human and that's it. But in the meantime, there's the animals that know the dream world, and they know us, and the dreams know us. So now we're learning how to meet them. Really.
Absolutely. What I wanted to add is, as I'm moving into my new home the other day, trying to find somebody to help lift some heavy items. And of course, if you call someone and say, I'm moving, can you help? And you find out who your friends are. And, everybody's got a lot going on right now. And so anyway, one of my boyfriend's friends came over, really nice man. And I'm living in the villages in village of Salier, and it means gift from God. So the land where I'm living was actually celebratory land. And this was sacred land here to the First Nations, Native American people. And this is where they danced and they sang and they celebrated. So the energy is so peaceful. But anyway, Mike came to help, and he is a veteran, was in the Air Force. And so we started talking, and we really needed, I was all smashed up from moving and needed the help. I was scared to smash my hand again. So he came over, and nice person. And he said, you're probably going to think I'm weird, but I talk to the birds. I said, I talk to all the birds. Who cares about that? There's nothing weird about that. I said, they got their feet on the ground. They know what's going on. And if we listen to them, we're a lot wiser. And I mean, I used to stand outside an apartment I had and stand there talking to the birds singing on the ledge. They are talking. If we listen, we are going to be so much happier in our lives. And because they're the four-leggeds, they're the ones with their feet touching the ground, and they want us to do the same.
Yeah.
They're way more sensitive. And so I want to share one more thing. Looking at the time because I have a client later, but no, I'm in good shape. I wanted to share something about this eclipse we were talking about before, and there's nothing in this world that's mistake. And astrology is so exact. If you know how to read it, if you know how to interpret it, I mean, people say I don't believe in that, but you know what? It's not about believing, it's about understanding the language of the world that surrounds us, just like the animals, their language, Greek, Italian, French, Irish, whatever it is. It's so cool. Languages are so cool. And astrology is an ancient language, sacred ancient language. And it has gotten a bad rap, and that's done. We're out of the Pisces age. We're moving December 21st. That Jupiter Saturn conjunction is being called the Star of Bethlehem, the North Star. When the baby Jesus was born, Jupiter and Saturn were like this beside each other in Aquarius. I'm just like so excited. I'm going to go and watch it in a telescope because we got something beautiful being birthed here. The age of Aquarius, the age of everybody being treated with equality. And stop the fighting. Done. Stop the fighting. Be kind. Walk up to somebody and just give them whatever it is. Just pass on. Material is material. And abundance comes here and from divine. And when you've got that, there's no worry about money. There's no worry about abundance, And so I wanted to talk. I'm going to just share my screen a minute, and I want to share with you the December 14th you just saw. Everyone, you just saw that December 14th is a total solar eclipse. It's not moving across the United States. The lunar eclipse did. So the United States the public is under a huge transition into the light and a new direction. That lunar eclipse was intense, moving over the United States. So we're in a place of change right now. But the solar eclipse, with Mercury next to it and the south node, is happening exactly on the day. You see my screen, everyone? November 4th through December 14th, 2020, counting popular votes and filing certificates of ascertainment. Following Election Day, the states are to count and certify popular vote results according to their respective statutory and procedural requirements. So basically what's going to happen is there's going to be a vote, and we're going to know who is the president who's going to be sworn in January. And my opinion, and please don't shoot me, anybody, but my opinion as an astrologer, as an intuitive, and as a concerned member of the United States, and is that Biden is going to be president, and not for long, I believe that Camilla is going to be our president very quickly, because her North Node is not, North Node means the direction you came here in this life to go. And that direction for her is not to be the vice president, but to be the president. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, like you said, the stars say what the stars, the astrology says what the deal is and what the vibe is. And so when you know how to read the symbols and the language, it is what it is, right? I mean,
I've studied it backwards, sideways, frontwards. I've gone in the back door, I've gone in the front door, I've looked at all the charts, and I'm like, you know what, everyone? It's taken me a lot of courage to say this on YouTube, but you know what? We're all together in this. We're all one, and the fighting needs to stop. We are the United States of America.
and I'll say to that, with the age of Aquarius, it is about the community. It's never going to be again about one leader.
That's
Never.
it. That's right.
It's all of us, and that's what matters. So, you know, however you feel about whoever the person, whoever is irrelevant.
Exactly. You know the picture of George Washington in the boat going down the river, and he's standing up, but he's leading, but he's a part of that team that's rowing down the river. And that's the vision I get. Our leader ought to be with us, walking with us. You know, they're at the front, but they're walking with us. This is the age of Aquarius. We all walk together. Yes, we need a top dog, so to speak. However, you know, this is what we're stepping into. This is what we're in. This is
Show
what
us.
we're in.
Will you show us the eclipse
Sure.
chart again?
Sure.
Yeah.
And this is December 14th, 2020. The eclipse occurs in Summerfield, Florida. Exactly, and you can see the eclipse right here. The sun in 23 degrees Sagittarius in 6 minutes. The moon at 23 degrees of Sagittarius, 6 minutes. Mercury, the planet of communication, of news, of thinking, of decision making, is at 20 degrees in Sagittarius. This is what you call a stellium. The chart is dancing right here. And guess where it is? 11th house, Aquarius. This is the dawning.
Yep.
Right, but it's a south node eclipse. So what that means is we've got some things to take care of before we can go forward. We've got some things that are important where justice needs to be had. Everybody in the world. This is a universal chart. This is a solar eclipse, new identity. We are coming together with people of common beliefs. We're finding our people right now. That's what this eclipse is saying. This is the end and the beginning. When you have a total solar eclipse, the moon moves right in front of the sun. You see them together? It blocks the light of the sun, and then it moves on and you can see again. So before, which is where we are right now, we're kind of in the dark in some ways, but when it crosses over, I mean, the Mayans used to use this to control their people with fear. But they knew that change was going to happen. And so we have, each and every one of us, a story of our past that we are looking at, and it's going to keep coming up. It's going to be coming up, coming up. This is a marker of what the next 6 months is going to unfold in our lives. This is a marker. This is the end and the beginning and the start of a whole new direction. Sagittarius is the optimist. It's the Pollyannas. It's the positive. It is the hunter. It is the searcher. It is the seeker, like in Harry Potter. And I mean, we are on fire with this eclipse. Total solar eclipse.
And it looks like it's like an arrow with the feathers pointing right to the north node. It's like that's our feather headdress, as you were saying, going straight towards our Gemini. How are we going to think about it? What is that in? That's the 4th house there. So how do we feel about what we think?
Actually, it's not in the 4th house. It's in the 5th. You see how it's right on the cusp of the 5th? The children, we need to look to our children. They know more than we know. Our young adults, we need to nurture them, care for them. We need to talk to them, listen to them. We need to pay attention to them because they know more than we do. Honestly, the children, this is the 5th house, and it's also about expressing our hearts, gathering information of how we can shine. This is what we're talking about, our dreams. And you see where our growing pains are? The square to Neptune. People are scared to dream now. They're scared to listen to their dreams. And they're suffering a lot with the past. That's these squares. This is the growth. Squares are the dynamic points in a chart. And these squares are telling us that, like when you're growing up and you grow too fast, you get growing pains and your legs hurt. It's like that. We as a planet, we as a solar system, our whole solar system right now is going through an incredible transition, and we are going to realize the truth. The truth is now coming out. The next year, if you had something that you've had packed down inside, you will not be able to keep it. It's going to come out because the universe says it's time. It's time for that to happen. So nobody's going to be able to lie and get away with it anymore. So it's, pretty intense.
Well said, Andrea.
Well, thank you. Anyway, I think that we're probably about ready to wrap things up here.
Sounds good. Yeah, it's really quite an exciting time to be alive, no matter what.
It really is. And how can people reach you, Nicole, if they're interested in spirit therapy?
At Spirit Therapy.nyc, there's 3 different modalities with tarot card readings or just psychicness, or I can help you understand your birth chart. I'm not doing transits yet. I need more schooling from Andrea. Andrea's the one who for that. But I can help you to understand your own energies with the astrology. And then we can do all kinds of journey work or inner discovery, what you really want to do with the soul and spirit discovery session. So
And
that's Spirit Therapy.
you're doing really, really, really well with astrology. So we're going to go on to 102. And anybody that's interested, we're trying to set up a date now for 102. So if you have some astrology education and you want to take 102 and learn about transits, you can also, I'm trying to get it ready, 101 for people to purchase the recordings. I'm getting there. I'm just needing a little bit of help on this end. But anyway, so we'd love you to join us. And so I think that we're pretty much all set for today. And I want to say, you know, I'm walking around everywhere telling, oh, come on, Bunny. My bunny just came home. Come on, Bunny. Bunny wants to say hi, everybody.
The animals.
Yeah.
Hi, Bun.
Bunny. Oh, and now her thing is chirping.
Bun.
Yeah, so this is her new toy. Anyway, I've been walking around and everybody I see, I say Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. And Merry Christmas Star. I mean, that's for everybody.
Yes, yeah, and make sure you get out to Telescope if you can and watch December 21st. That conjunction of the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn into Aquarius. So everyone, thanks for tuning in today. And remember, turn to the stars and you'll find your answers there. And take good care that you